Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Amani Iliana binti Muhammad Hadi. My matric number is H20A1081. For the introduction, Shangri-La and Avilion Berhad are two firms listed on Bursa Malaysia. These companies were chosen because they are related to our program, which is in the hotel, tourism and wellness industry. The purpose of this research is to provide the financial ratios of these two firms. Two Malaysian companies have partnered with TripAdvisor, the world's largest travel app. Shangri-La and Avilion Berhad have both worked in the hospitality industry for more than 20 years. The two companies have owned and run hotels, resorts and housing. Viv Botanical Spa, V Healthy Cuisine, V Wellness Spa and V Yoga Retreats are just a few examples. Avilion Berhad and Shangri-La are also significantly involved in the tourist industry. As a result, some businesses have begun to provide hospitality services. The ratio analysis is a quantitative study of the data in a company's financial statements. It used to evaluate a company from a variety of perspectives, such as turnover, solvency, and profitability. Ratio analysis is essential for analyzing performance and assessing the company's strengths and weaknesses. The use of ratio analysis to anticipate future values from income statements and balance sheets is beneficial. The analysis ratio is very important when it comes to recognizing danger and taking corrective action. Many aspects affecting a company's profitability, such as sales, spending, and debt, can be analyzed using leverage ratios.
Hi, my name is Siti Najiha binti Shamsuddin and my matric number is H20A1776. For my part, I have made the background of the companies Avilion and Shangri-La. Avilion Berhad, originally Reliance Pacific Berhad, is a company that specializes in asset management and investment holding, hotel management, property development, tourism, support services and group management are the company segments. Travel and tour operation, bus hire and other associated services are the company's main activities. Management of hotels and resorts, electronic commerce with reservation services, travel financing business, property and resort development, trustee company, operation of spa and health center, and advertising and media services are among the company's other activities. Next, Shangri-La Hotels Malaysia Berhad is a limited liability investment holding company that trades on Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad. Shangri-La Hotels, situated in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, was founded in 1971. Hotels, beach resorts, golf courses, clubhouse, property management and commercial laundry are all part of Shangri-La's business.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Rashida Noaim binti Rizwan and my matric number is H20B1727. So, I will be presenting on the trend analysis for Shangri-La Hotel in 2019 and 2020. Okay, first is for the current ratio. So, the current ratio for Avilion Hotel is higher in 2019 than 2020 because in 2019 the value is 0.0857 and for the 2020 is 0.0590. Okay, and next for the quick ratio. For the quick ratio, the value is are the same for 2018 and 2019 for the Avilion Hotel. This is because Avilion Hotel doesn't have inventory for the both years. So the quick ratio for Avilion Hotel is 0.0857 in 2019 and 0.0590 in 2020. Next is for the net working capital. So the net working capital for Avilion Hotel for both 2019 and 2020 have shown the negative value, which 2019 is negative 61215 and in 2020 it is negative 55325. Okay, this happens because Avilion Hotel have a lot of current liability compared to the asset. And for the total asset turnover, Avilion Hotel show there is an increase from 2019 to 2020, which is from 0.0233 in 2019, and then it increased to 6.9373 in 2020. And for the account receivable ratio for the Evelyn Hotel, it shows that they have a higher value in 2020 compared to 2019, because in 2019 the value is 1949, while in 2020 it was 5217. While for the average collection period ratio, it shows that in 2019 the value is higher compared to 2020, which is in 2019 is 187.12, and in 2020 is only 69.97. However, it shows that it's not a good sign in 2019, because it shows that Evelyn Hotel have trouble to collect the debts from the customer. And we cannot calculate for the inventory turnover for the Evelyn Hotel, because they don't have inventory for both 2019 and 2020. Then we conclude that company doesn't use inventory to generate sales, because the company inventory is empty for 2019 and 2020. And that ratio for Evelyn Hotel is higher in 2019 than 2020, because the value in 2019 is 0.5611%, and in 2020 it is only 0.5514%. Okay, and then Evelyn Hotel debt to equity show that Evelyn Hotel have a lot of debt in 2019, when the ratio is higher in 2019 than to 2020. In 2019, the value of ratio is 1.279%, and while in 2020 it is 1.229%. And we cannot calculate the interest ratio for the Evelyn Hotel, because they don't state their interest rate in the income statement, so that the calculation and the analysis cannot be carried out. Return on equity ratio for Evelyn Hotel have shown that they have negative value for both 2019 and 2020, because they don't generate net profit after we deduct the tax for 2 years, which 2019 is negative 0.6018%, and for 2020 it is negative 0.1263%. Same goes with the return on equity for Evelyn Hotel, when they got negative value for both years 2019 and 2020. This is because they have negative net revenue. So 2019 is negative 0.6018%, and in 2020 it is negative 0.1263%. And gross profit margin for Evelyn Hotel for 2019 and 2020 have the same rate or the same value, which is only 1%. The operating profit margin for Evelyn Hotel for both years is negative in 2019 and 2020. This is because the operating profit that stated is also negative. So in 2019, it is negative 10.758%, and in 2020 is negative 4.8939%. For the net profit margin, it shows that Evelyn Hotel doesn't have a good net profit margin. This is because Evelyn Hotel have negative value for the net profit margin for both years, which is in 2019 is negative 11.3535%, and in 2020 is negative 8.1669%. This is because Avalon Hotel doesn't have a net profit, but they only have a net loss.
Hello for my respected lecturer and all my beloved friends. I am Muhammad Azmir Hafiz Bilambri, metric number H20A1229. So for the trend analysis Shangri-La, the data show that the current ratio for Shangri-La hotels in 2019 and 2020 has a gap of 0.861, where the ratio is higher in 2019, which is 2.013 compared 2020, which is 1.152. This is show that Shangri-La has a higher ability to finance that short-term obligation in 2019 by using that current assets. Net working capital. For net working capital ratio, Shangri-La Hotel show high and positive value in 2019 and 2020. This is because in 2018 the ratio was 706 at 6, while in 2020 that has dropped by 60790, which makes the ratio only 9889. Although both years has a positive value, but it show Shangri-La in 2018 has effective current assets to finance that short-term obligation. We analyze and argue that the total current asset difference is a factor to this ratio. This is because the number of current asset in 2019 is higher and the difference in current liabilities between the 2 years in 4315. Shangri-La Hotel showed that its total assets turnover ratio is higher in 2018, which is 0.155, and in 2020 it is 0.0591. We analyzed and argued that the difference between the total assets on in the 2 years affect the sales. This show that Shangri-La hotels in 2019 have more effective asset to generate sales. Shangri-La Hotel show that has a high fixed assets turnover ratio is in 2018, which is 0.1891, while only 0.0662 in 2020. In 2019, Shangri-La Hotel has a relatively large amount of fixed assets compared to 2020, where the difference in fixed asset for the 2 years that was tens of 403, and this difference became the mainstay of the firm's sales. So we define that Shangri-La Hotels in 2018 has an effective fixed asset to generate profit. The ratio of account receivable for Shangri-La is high in 2018, which is 1.0701, while in 2020 it decreased by 0.4618, which makes the ratio in 2020 is only 0.4618, because in 2019 the number of sale and account receivable is higher than in 2020. So we conclude that Shangri-La Hotel in 2018 has an effective receivable account to generate sales. Debt ratio for Shangri-La Hotel is slightly higher in 2018 compared to 2020, which is 0.1007 and 0.0973. The difference is not so significant, which is 0.0034. However, that show that in 2018 Shangri-La has a substantial amount of debt for to finance that asset compared to 2020. Based on the above, the ratio to debt to equity ratio for Shangri-La Hotels in 2018 and 2020 has shown this ratio is high in 2019, which is 0.1121, and in 2020 that is 0.1078. Like the previous ratio, the difference is not so significant, which is only 0.0043. However, this shows show that Shangri-La hotels have the slightly higher amount of debt in 2019 compared to 2020. The term interest earn ratio for Shangri-La hotels is high in 2019, which is 21.62, while in 2020 that show a negative value of 8185. This is because the operating volume for the year 2020 is negative, which is loss. Therefore, the ratio becomes negative. So we conclude Shangri-La hotels in 2019 are able to meet loan requirement, and the risk of default is low compared to 2020. Return on equity for Shangri-La hotels is only in 2019. This is because in 2020 the value of the ratio is a negative, which is 0.0198, while in 2019 that is 0.0583. This is because in 2020 Shangri-La has not net income, so the value of the ratio is negative. This Shangri-La in 2019 is still able to provide return to shareholder. The data show the return on asset ratio for Shangri-La hotels can only afford in 2019. This is because in 2020 this ratio recorded a negative value 0.0525 in 2019 and negative 0.0179 in 2020, as which the previous ratio. The factor is because the firm does not earn net income in 2020. This we conclude the firm is still capable of the provide a return on this investment such as asset in 2019. The data show the return on asset ratio for Shangri-La hotels can only afford in 2019. This is because in 2020 this ratio recorded a negative value 0.0525 in 2018 and negative 0.0179 in 2020, as which the previous ratio. The factor is because the firm does not earn net income in 2020. This we conclude the firm is still capable of the provide a return on this investment such as assets in 2019. Based on the data in the 2 years above, Shangri-La only has a net profit margin ratio in 2019 of 0.388, while in 2020 the value of the ratio is negative at negative 0.302. This is because in 2020 Shangri-La Hotel does not generate sufficient profit, then cause the firm in 2020 is not able to generate net income and instead get a loss of profit. This we conclude Shangri-La Hotels are still able to provide good return to shareholder in 2019. Thank you.
I'm Yasmin Rahana binti Razali, want to present for part comparative analysis. Firstly, for the current ratio, Avalon Hotels in 2016 is 0.0857, while Shangri-La Hotels is 2.013. Meanwhile, in 2020, Shangri-La Hotels still have a higher current ratio with 1.152 than Avalon Hotels, which is 0.0590. Next, Shangri-La Hotels has higher quick ratio 2.005 than Avalon Hotels 0.0857. Meanwhile, in 2020, Shangri-La Hotels still has higher quick ratio 1.143 than Avalon Hotels 0.059. Other than that, Shangri-La Hotel has higher net working capital, which is 70686, while Avalon Hotel face negative net working capital, which is negative 61215. Meanwhile, in 2020, Shangri-La Hotel still has higher net working capital by 9899, while Avalon Hotel still facing negative by negative 55325. In 2019, Shangri-La Hotel has higher total asset turnover by 0.155 than Avalon Hotels by 0.0233, but in 2020, Avalon Hotels has higher turnover assets by 6.9373, while Shangri-La Hotels only has 0.0591. Next, Avalon Hotels has higher account receivable turnover value for both years 2019 and 2020 by 1.949 and 5.217, while Shangri-La Hotels only had 1.0701 for 2019 and 0.0683 for 2020. Moreover, Shangri-La Hotels has higher average collection than Avalon Hotels for both years 2019 and 2020 by 341.083 and 600.017, meanwhile Avalon Hotels only had 187.12 for 2019 and 69.97 for 2020. For inventory turnover, Shangri-La Hotels has higher value of inventory turnover for both year of 2019 and 2020 by 205.245 and 81.052, while Avalon Hotel posts zero value in inventory.
I, Mohammed Nazmi Shah, will continue the presentation of comparative analysis for debt ratio. Avalon Hotel has higher debt ratio by 0.56% than Shangri-La Hotels by 0.10%. In 2020, the Avalon Hotels still has higher debt ratio by 0.55% than Shangri-La Hotels by 0.10%. Avalon Hotel possesses higher debt to equity value for both years of 2019 and 2020 by 1.28% and 1.23%. Meanwhile, Shangri-La Hotels have 0.11% for both years, which is less than Avalon Hotels. For this section of time interest earned, Shangri-La Hotels has 21.62% of time interest earned for 2019, while Avalon Hotel has 0% value. In 2020, Shangri-La Hotels faced negative value by negative 8.85%, while Avalon Hotels still have 0% value. Next, Shangri-La Hotels has high value of return on equity by 0.06%, while Avalon Hotels face negative value by negative 0.60% by 2019. In 2020, both companies faced negative value of returns on equity by negative 0.13% for Avalon Company and negative 0.02% for Shangri-La Company. Therefore, Shangri-La Hotels has a positive value of earning after tax by 0.06%, while Avalon Hotels face negative value by negative 0.26% in 2019. In 2020, Shangri-La Hotels has higher negative value by negative 0.0179%, while Avalon Hotels only has negative 0.06%. Negative value of return on assets. In 2019, Avalon Hotels has more gross profit margin by 1% than Shangri-La Hotels by 0.35%. Meanwhile, in 2020, Avalon Hotels still possess 1% gross profit margin, while Shangri-La Hotels fails negative value by negative 0.045%. In 2019, we could see, based on the data above, that Avalon Hotels has high negative value by negative 10.076%, while Shangri-La Hotels possess positive value by 0.35%. Meanwhile, in 2020, Avillion Hotel still has high negative value by negative 4.89%, then Shangri-La by 0.43%. Based on the data, in 2019, Avillion Hotel has high negative value of net profit margin by negative 11.35%, while Shangri-La Hotels has positive value by 0.39%. But in 2020, Shangri-La Hotels face negative value by negative 0.30%, while Avillion Hotels is higher, which by negative 8.17%.
Finally, financial ratio are a critical financial management tool for determining, regulating, and analyzing a company performance. Financial ratio are used by all stakeholders, including consumer, supplier, financier, investor, rival, government, workers, the company, and entrepreneur to assess the performance of various organizations by looking at capital, operation, background, business, and other factors. Therefore, this method is applied to Avillion, BHD, and Shangri-La Company to analyze the financial performance of these companies. According to the liquidity ratio between the two firms, Shangri-La outperformance Avillion, BHD. This is due to Shangri-La ability to pay off debt, short-term debt. Avillion, BHD outperformance Shangri-La in terms of activity ratio. During the typical collecting period in 2019, Avillion Berhad take 40 days, while Shangri-La it took 47 days to collect their debt. Next, leverage ratio Shangri-La show a better percentage than Avillion Berhad because that can pay off their total debt based on the financial statement of this company. This company suffered loss for 2 years. Therefore, investors do not get the return on investment they make. Even so, these two companies have their own advantage and disadvantage as well as their respective business strategies that can generate profits. Overall, Shangri-La and Avillion Berhad have opportunities and dangers that must be addressed and improved in order to increase profitability. Thank you.